Welcome back to another episode of Sibling Showdown, the Best Ball Edition, our live draft edition. We are back, and this time we are doing a DraftKings draft, a DraftKings Millymaker draft today. I'm, of course, joined by my brother, Steve. You can find him at SteveOSpeak. You can find me at Meg's 08 DFS. There it is on camera. Steve, how are you doing today? And DraftKings has a big promo going this week. Are you ready to rip a lot of DraftKings Millymaker drafts?
Yeah, it's interesting. They're doing taking advantage of the MLB All-Star break and nothing else really going on unless you're into Wimbledon or the Scottish Open.
Yeah.
They're doing the best ball week, which is smart.
We're in the dog days of summer, and as you said, a pretty slow sports week, so they're smart to take advantage of this.
Yep, absolutely.
So tell them a little bit about the promo, and then we'll get signed up.
So the first one today is if you you draft a Millymaker, you get $5 DK dollars. So basically, you're getting it half off today. We'll see what the ones are throughout the rest of the week. I'm guessing it'll mainly be featured around the doing some Millymaker, these $10 Millymakers. Maybe some you need to do too, or we'll see. Maybe it's crowns you're getting, maybe it's DK dollars. Maybe if you do so many over the course of the week, you get a free ticket. So we'll see. I mean, DK always does these types of things around big events, with other sports and stuff like that. So really cool that they're doing that and really jumping in the best ball streets this year. They've already filled some of their small tournaments and put them right back out, $9 and $100 and a couple others that were like single or entry or three maxes, and they already fired them back out. So it's really, really nice that they're creating a nice marketplace.
Yeah. I got in a draft as you're talking. I didn't think it would fill as fast as it did. It filled. The clock didn't look like it had started yet. I was a little confused. So again, I do all my drafts on looks like we're pick 4. But I don't see a clock running. Do you?
No, sometimes it takes a second. Like they don't show kind of like some of the other sites do. Like it will start in, like a minute 30 or something like that. But I would refresh again, but I've never really had an issue.
Okay. Yeah. I just hadn't seen that before. And I was just making sure I didn't do something wrong. So we do have pick 4. I just queued up some of the top players that I obviously love. But then we can talk through. Should I go back out and back in?
I would just refresh, like give another 30 seconds, refresh one more time.
Okay. But as Steve said, they've got great promos to take advantage of today. Get a free $5 DK dollars back. And then obviously there's going to be plenty more. So look for that in DraftKings. I love having the 4 spot. I think to me, it's like if Cup's there, take Cup. If Hill's there, I love Hill. So it's kind of a sweet spot for me. How about you? Who do you usually take at the 4 spot?
Yeah, I mean, Cup would be my favorite.
If you fell there,
Cooper Cup is made for DK. That is for sure.
Yeah, that is absolutely
100-yard bonus, point PPR, full point PPR. So yeah, I think he's tough to pass if he's there.
Okay. We're just refreshing. Looks like I finally got a clock going here. And yeah, it's a moving. So we're on the clock into picks. And let's see here. Obviously, Jefferson went first. Let's see. Did Cup go?
You haven't even marked Cup yet.
Oh, you're right. Thank you. Again, I am getting used to working with it on desktop. I'm so used to doing so. Just to take a look, we have 26 seconds, but it went. So Cup is there. It went Jefferson, Chase, McCaffrey. So we'll grab Cup, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. So we'll bring the draft board back up since we have a little break. It looks like there's a slight delay for me, but it'll catch up hopefully here. So as expected, it went Jefferson, Chase, McCaffrey. We took Cup, who we talked about why, and ecstatic to get him. Kelsey, Hill, no surprise in that top 6. That is the top 6. And that's honestly why I like getting the top 6, because I'd be thrilled. I really can't have a big debate on any of these guys. I'd be thrilled with getting any of these guys. So that's why I always love being in the front half, or celebrate when I'm in the front half of a draft. But coming back, we'll be at the 2.9 and 3.4 spots. So, we obviously have to see kind of what comes to us there. But, what do you kind of like to do at the 2-3 turn when you're towards the back half there?
So I do think, even though it is, full point PPR and favors receivers, I do think grabbing at least one running back of those two makes a lot of sense, just because already a lot of the top receivers are going to be gone. So you're maybe getting the 5th best running back versus the 16th best receiver or something like that. So, I think that typically is good, but then, take another receiver. Now the order can obviously depend on what falls to you. If for some reason a good receiver falls for the 2nd round, then, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Right. Yeah, I typically take both on underdog and draft. I typically, basically, I'll say this quickly since we're up in 7 picks, typically lean more into the hero, double hero, RB for sure, making sure I get 1 to 2 running backs in the first 3 to 4 rounds on underdog, just because of the touchdown hunting. On DraftKings and drafters, I'll probably be a little more zero RB or hero RB, to your point, getting 1 running back maybe in the first 3 rounds to like anchor, it's obviously called anchor RB too. But got to be flexible is what the draft gives you. I'll tell you what, if Devontae Adams is there, that's criminal. I don't know if he still will be in 3 picks, but let's now look at the board. Did Chubb go? Okay. So there was a little run on running backs, because obviously Chubb was one that I would be willing to take. Jacobs goes a little here. And of course, right before us, Adams just went. So obviously we have the hero quarterbacks, but I'm fine kind of waiting. We've got like Pollard, Stevenson. Obviously, there's some rumors that I think are pushing Breece Hall down, and this group of receivers with 19 seconds left didn't really prep that as well. I honestly kind of like the Higgins, Devonta Smith or Pollard. What are your thoughts?
I like Pollard. I really think he's in for a massive role this year.
Okay,
and he's great in this format because he's going to catch the ball a lot also.
Right. Okay, so we're up in 5. Again, in a receiver heavy, if I was on underdog, I wouldn't mind double tapping, Stevenson if he was still here. But in this, the receivers are actually falling a little bit here. Like if a Devonta Smith or T. Higgins is still there at 28, I have a lot of interest with that. So Devonta Smith just went. Higgins is there. Higgins just went. Do you have interest? I mean, obviously, Chris Olave is built better for this format than underdog, in my opinion. I'm more fine with him as a 3rd round than I was as him a 2nd round on underdog.
Exactly.
So if he's there, I'm fine with that. Do you have any other strong preferences?
Yeah, I mean, I like Ridley as well there, but no, I think Olave is a good play there.
And Chris Olave was just taken. So you just watched me queue up like 4 guys and they all went right in a row. Boom, boom, boom. But yeah, I really would like to grab another receiver that I feel good about. Do you love Ridley in this format over Metcalf?
I do. I definitely do.
Okay. You think he's got a lot of 100-yard equity, I assume.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we started the draft at the 4 spot and got Cup, Pollard, Ridley. So we'll be coming back around, let's see, at the 4.9, 5.4. You're better than figuring out those numbers. Math isn't always my strong suit, but we can watch the board for a minute and then talk through what we wanted to do. I was really hoping we got Higgins in the 3rd round. I thought we were off by 2. That would have been a steal. And then we could have queued up a Burrow, in the 4th. That would have been, I don't have enough Burrow. I don't know about you, but I really would like to get some more Joe Burrow in my portfolio. At this point, where it's like 2 months left, we're in the 50. We just hit the 59 days mark. We're in the 50s. Thank God. There are certain, now I'm really starting to look at my exposures and decide, okay, need more of him, need more of them, need more of this team, need more of that team. And Bengals are one I just haven't gotten to a lot, just based on where I'm at, just
Yeah.
my pick numbers and stuff, or who around them I'm bullish on as well. So, excuse me, as you see the board play out, excuse me, obviously, we had the hero quarterbacks go in the second. Lamar went in the third. I wouldn't be honestly surprised if Burrow goes before we come back up. But what do you like as we come back around here?
Well, I'd probably look at another receiver.
4.9. What number is that? Help me with my math.
That would be like 45-ish.
Okay. I mean, I doubt, but
like a Mike Williams.
Yeah, I was just thinking Mike Williams. If Mike Williams is there, he's a perfect 100-yard equity, big play type guy.
Yeah.
And just you and I are both incredibly bullish on that offense. I don't mean obviously Terry and McLaurin and London of guys I've been taking a lot on underdog. Every time I click, it's like another receiver's going. The receiver avalanche is crushing me because I'm trying to queue guys and they're not queuing the right guys. Okay, so it hit us. We're on the clock and Mike Williams is still there. So I'm going to go ahead and grab him. Sound good?
Good. Yep.
All right, perfect. All right, so we started the draft kind of how we wanted to. Hero build anchored by Pollard, Cup, Ridley, Mike Williams, all different bye weeks. Gives us a lot of optionality with 300-yard equity type quarterbacks in, of course, Stafford, Lawrence, and Herbert. So,
and also Dak with Pollard.
And Dak with Pollard. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. So I'm just going to throw those in my queue just to kind of keep an eye on them. I need to look where we come back up at 52. We could grab Herbert there. I mean, I typically don't mind waiting a little bit more on DraftKings, but boy, do I love Herbert this year. So what are your thoughts on Herbert specifically? We're coming up in 3 picks, or would you rather target another receiver or running back?
Well, I think it depends on what receivers or running backs are there, but I do like Herbert a lot in this format. I mean, he should get a ton of 300-yard games. So,
I mean, considering that offense was so muted last year due to injuries and, mainly injuries. Okay, so Justin Fields went right before us. So Herbert is there. You want to go for it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I like it. I'll finish what I'm saying now that we have a little breather here, and I'll pull the board back up because we're back up at 6.9, 7.4. So the Chargers last year, I was bullish on them last year too. It obviously wasn't what we had hoped, but especially Rashawn Slater, their tackle being out, dealt with on and off injuries with both their receivers. Obviously, was a hero all year long, but the offense just was a little more dink and dunk and wasn't as vertical as we thought. I think that changes this year. Hopefully they can stay healthy. And I just am so, and I know you are too, because we talk about it a lot, bullish on this offense. And, then obviously an offensive coordinator changed too. So talk about that a little and I'll start queuing up some other guys.
Yeah, no, I mean, Kellen Moore comes over from Dallas and, the Cowboys offense, you look at these past 4 years under Kellen Moore, and they've been one of the top scoring offenses, top yardage offenses in the NFL. And that even includes Dak missing, 11 games in 2020, missed 5 games this past year. When he was there, they were truly on par with the Chiefs or Bills or anyone of that elite status. So, and we're talking about a situation where he gets Herbert, gets Eckler, gets Williams, Keenan Allen. They drafted a rookie, Quentin Johnson, who can help. Gerald Everett's a pretty decent tight end. So yeah, they have weapons. Health is going to be the question mark.
Yeah. I queued up a couple here. We are coming up we still have 6 picks. I queued up 1 running back just in this range. I could queue up 2, Madison Pierce in this range, but because I think the others would be a bit of a reach at pick number 69. We're up in 5 picks. And then of course there's a good many receivers I like still currently available in Lockett, Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson just went. and Mike Evans. So either 100-yard bonus and or PPR type receivers. So we are on the clock in, sorry, I have this a little behind, so I apologize. We are on the clock in 2 picks. Now in a pick, and looks like, was Lockett just taken? Okay, yeah, so when Lockett, Godwin, Tony, us. It's basically Pierce from the running back situation, who I do like, or Mike Evans, because I don't have the interest in kind of like the guys above that. 11 seconds.
Let's go Pierce. I know it's the same buy, but we can fix that later.
Okay. I don't know if I got it in time. Okay. Can I just ask why I know you actually, I don't typically like Bucks and Cardinals and just bad teams. Well, actually, we can talk about it again because we are coming up in 6 picks, so we need to have a plan for this. Now, if we did want to grab, I definitely don't think we should like reach for a Dak or anything, but that would be like what, 8th, 9th round, I'm guessing, right? Yeah. So 7th round, I feel I want to grab another receiver here. If it fits, obviously, again, given the PPR and bonus, given the scoring on DraftKings and the PPR and bonuses, I lean more receiver heavy. So I really want to get a 4th receiver here. So who do you like outside of Mike Evans? And then we can talk about
Addison and Pickens and Cooks.
Okay. So we'll be up at pick 76. Sorry, I'm just moving the queue down. Oh, I accidentally queued the wrong person. Okay. Sorry, bear with me. Still getting used to working the okay, so we have Evans, Pickens, Cooks, Addison. 22 seconds. I can make honestly a case for all of them. I'd rather not go Addison as the rookie. I'd rather go one of the other 3.
I like Evans.
Okay. Well, he definitely fell.
Yeah.
Well, that was my question last time, and he ended up falling to us. Now that we have time to talk about it, I'll pull the board up now that we have a 15 pick break. I actually was interested in him in the last go round, just because, again, I don't typically target Bucks and sorry, can you see the board okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't typically like to target bad teams, but that's more an underdog when we're touchdown hunting. And I do have more interest, but I do like Evans, because he does have, even on an underdog, I do think, he's had so many, 1,000-yard seasons and still obviously can be a red zone threat. And then here, I think he's a good 100-yard equity guy, a big play guy. So yeah, I still have some interest here, even though I don't like the offense. So I was going to ask why you didn't like him at the last pick, but it worked out getting him at the next pick. So.
Yeah, for me, it was more, it was Pierce and Connor and then total drop off. So
you thought it was a big tier break, basically.
Yeah, where I thought, the receivers, likely one of those guys was going to be there. Gotcha. Going down to like a guy like Brandon Cooks. So, I just felt more confident, and Evans still ended up there.
Okay. Okay. So, we still have 8 picks here. We need to decide if we want to, it's tough. If Brandon Cooks or Pickens was there, that would be a big fall. That it would be at pick 93. I'd really want to take them. But then, then you have Dak Prescott on the board, who I like too, though I think we could wait a little on quarterback since we took Herbert, as much as I love Dak in this format. So we're up in 4. Our receivers that we had queued up did go. I queued up David Montgomery, Brian Robinson. Again, we have 1, 2, 4. I'm fine kind of waiting on tight end. We are up in 2 picks. So it's more, do we want to go Dak, or do you let me queue back receivers? Outside of Sutton, I don't love this range, but I do, especially in this format, want to get receivers I like before it dries up too. So I kind of lean, okay, we are on the clock. So to me, it's Dak or Sutton.
Go Sutton.
Okay, does that kind of work with our bye weeks too? I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he obviously correlates with the Herbert Williams. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good call. Absolutely correlate. It has week 17 correlation with Herbert, Mike Williams. Yeah, I kind of have a rule that, and I know like guys like Hayden Winks and from guys from the Underdog Network talked about this, and a lot of other best ball people talking about, getting like 4 receivers in the top 8, 5 in the top 10. That's kind of my rule, like 3 by 6, 4 by 8, 5 by 10, just because you can still do any type of build you want, whether you want a hero QB or double hero running backs. You can do anything you want. But you still got to, in my opinion, keep that pacing, or you can get dried up. And I just looked at some bad teams from last year, and boy, if my 3rd or 4th receiver is weaker or not trustworthy, in my opinion, you can get into some trouble. So I like to have really 5 guys that I can trust. And I feel like now we do in Kupp, Ridley, Mike Williams, Mike Evans, Sutton, 2 running backs, and Herbert. Dak is still there with 3 picks to go. If he's still there, to me, that's a fall that I think is worth taking with Pollard, and then we can backstack him. But we can also queue up other guys too. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I do think we need to start looking at running back again, because that's a position that's drying up for sure.
Okay, we are on the clock. I'm going to go ahead and
Dak
take.
is the one guy worth it.
Because he has insane value. We have Pollard already. You can easily backstack. I love Detroit. I love the Dallas offense. Love their playoff schedule. Love their week 17 against the Lions. Love the Lions. Love their playoff schedule. Love week 17 against against Dallas. So I'm just going to start queuing up some other Detroit and Dallas players that I know I absolutely love. Where does Gallup go on here? Okay, 139. I was just trying to find him. So let me move this around to, do we have a little bit of a break? Yeah, we're up in 15 picks. So I queued up Laporta, is obviously one of my favorite Lions to get at value. We do need to start addressing the tight end position as well. Gallup is a great pairing for Dak, even though he's the 3rd receiver. I think, 2nd year removed from injury, really, really, really love Gallup. So what numbers are we going to be coming up here, Steve, at 10.9 and 11.4, just to help me out?
What number are we at now?
Well, we took Dak at 9.4. Sorry. We're at 108 right now.
107. So that
107,
be, yeah. So we're up in it's like 117, somewhere around there, right? Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And 117, and then like 120, early 120s. Okay. I was just trying to like kind of plan it out in my head. So looking at the running back position, we still have Dillon on the board, Gibson on the board. Good for this format. This seems a little early for McKinnon, but obviously he is more of a PPR guy. Any other running backs you wanted to queue up in this area? Obviously Jamal Williams, I think. I mean, he's more of a touchdown kind of hunting. I don't know if he's as good in this format as I love him on Underdog, but Penny, there are guys here. So tell me who else you would like me to queue up.
Yeah, I mean, I think McKinnon's fine. That's about it for this area.
I mean, I do like Devin Achane. We just don't know what's happening with the Dalvin Cook situation. Obviously, that makes things a little bit, murky for the Dolphins running back room. We do want to get a solid 3rd running back. Did McKinnon go? Okay. No, there
Gibson
we go.
went.
Okay, Gibson went. Okay, thank you. Okay, so up in 3, we have Dillon, McKinnon. Okay, Jamal Williams just taken. We still have Dillon, McKinnon up in 2. Do you want to grab one of them with our next pick, and then we can decide if we wanted to? Okay, because I definitely have Gallup ranked a little higher, but we can talk about that after we make this pick. Okay, so Dillon, McKinnon, who do you prefer?
I'd go Dillon.
Yeah, I think he could have more 100-yard equity this year. I think they could lean into the run a lot this year.
I would. Yeah, I think that's a fair bet. And, I think he's shown he's okay catching the ball. It's not like, Aaron Jones is obviously better in that role, but I don't think he's going to go out there and have only 10 catches on the year.
Gotcha. Yeah, agreed. Now we're up in 4 picks at 124. I know it's a reach via ADP, but to me, when I have a guy ranked much higher, I don't care, and especially when they correlate. I have Gallup ranked higher than a lot of these other guys. What are your thoughts? Because I don't think Gallup's coming back to us. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think he's fun to take there. I would definitely like him above some of those guys, but not all of them. But I think he's fun to take there because it correlates.
Yeah, I have like 40-some% Gallup right now, probably across the board, just because he's a receiver I still feel really good about in an offense that I can get access to and really love. And so that's why I've been, he's a Dallas value piece that I really love, I guess I should say. And I know you do too. I know you have a good amount of Michael Gallup as well. So we are up again, pick number 141. Let me pull up the board really quick in 11 picks. We can start queuing up other running backs and tight ends, especially 12.9 and 13.4. So there's definitely a little run on, a little run on running backs and another little run on receivers there as we're coming around the 11-12 turn. So 12.9. We will be up again. I already have Sam Laporta queued up. High exposure to him as well. What about Kendre Miller in this format, Steve? I kind of think he could be really good in this format.
Yeah, I like him. I like Tyler Algier also.
You just think he still could have a nice enough role in this, even with Bijan?
Yeah, I just think, just from a skills perspective, he's talented enough. And of course, this is a guy who didn't even start all of last year, still at over 1,000 yards. In any games that he does get a little bit more work, he could add value. He's just going to be a guy who's on the field enough.
Gotcha.
So,
all right.
Well, some of these other guys.
Right. Okay. So I queued up Laporta, Miller, Algier. If we got like Laporta and a running back, I'd be happy in this kind of back-to-back scenario. We're up in 1 pick. Sorry, this is confusing. We are up in 1 pick. I'm going to take Laporta here. I'm surprised he's actually ranked higher here than he is on FanDuel. Or excuse me, FanDuel. It's FanDuel scoring to me on Underdog. And then I think then we can be in a position with our 147 to grab one of these running backs. Does that work with you?
Sounds good.
Okay. So grabbed our first tight end in Laporta. So if you look down, we have 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 6 receivers, and 1 tight end. A lot of correlation with both the Chargers, Broncos, and Cowboys, Lions, which are 2 of my favorite week 17 games. So in 6 picks, we have Kendre Miller and Algier queued. Do you want to queue anybody else in case they go here in this area?
Mitchell and Foreman.
Yeah, I don't mind them as a 4th running back. Okay, well, that's good to give us kind of some more options. There's some ones further down I like, but I think in this area, we have 4 good ones. I mean, again, in a perfect world, I love Stafford with Kupp, but we spent a lot of quarterback equity on Herbert and Dak. So I think a 3rd quarterback should probably come later. Would you agree with that?
I agree, though. I will say if he slides to the next round,
then there's some interest. Yeah. That's why I'm leaving him queued. I just didn't think we should take him kind of at ADP just because of what we've spent so far, essentially.
Agreed.
So Algier just went. So we've got Miller, Foreman. I keep Gainwell for later because we're up in 1 pick, so we'll get one of them. They took Tank. So do you lean Kendre Miller or Foreman? Obviously, Foreman's ranked a little higher. I like Miller a little better. 18 seconds. What is your?
I would probably just say Foreman's safer, and that's probably what we need since our starters are so strong.
The same bye week. Yeah. Okay.
We just need some safety there.
Okay. What's his bye week? 13. Okay. Yeah. Because I knew we had the 7, 7, 6 with Dylan and 13. Mm-hmm. So that's good. Okay. So we have 2, 4, 6, 1. Now we have a little break as far as our positional distribution here, and we can bring up the board as we completed the 13th round. We'll be up again at 14.9 and 15.4. Again, if a guy like, I do like to do 3 quarterback builds. I know some people definitely don't on a lot of people like to do 2 quarterback builds on underdog. I still like to do 3 on underdog with a late round quarterback as well, just to build out, 3 different stacks to help, both advancement. Stafford did just go and then getting through the playoffs. It's so difficult to get through the playoffs, and to kind of have 3 options, I think, gives you extra leverage. But, sometimes when I get an elite quarterback, I don't. But on DraftKings, when you have 20 picks, I almost always do. So yeah, if Stafford would have fell, that would have been something. But now that he didn't, I'm fine waiting. I know DraftKings quarterbacks go because people have the same idea. 20, rounds, more people do take 3 quarterbacks. So we can talk about quarterback, probably in a round or 2. But we can look at other running back, tight ends. Just start queuing up other receiver flyers. I think the core of our team is really strong at all positions, and then great correlation. So I'm happy with it so far. So I'm just going to kind of go position. Well, we are up in 7 picks. Let me see, what number are we up at next? 165. So at 165, I mean, obviously, if Miller's still there, that's something to consider. Are there any other running backs? And then I'll quickly go over to receiver to queue up.
No, go to
receiver. We've got then we need to look at tight end. I don't really love the receiver. I'd rather take the flyer type receiver since we have 6 strong ones. So let me hit tight end before. Tight ends go faster too, because we may want to address that. Because though if Miller's still there, that is again quite a fall. So there's Jawan Johnson, Dawson Knox, Gesicki, Mayer. I mean, I know your favorites, some of the rookies, like Mayer, just like Laporta and Musgrave. But, any other interest here? Okay, we are up in 1 pick. I don't think we need to reach there. Since Miller fell, do you want to take a 5th running back that, I think is, or would you rather just wait for Gainwell? I mean,
yeah, no, I don't think there's anything wrong with taking the 5th running back here and grabbing one more later.
Okay. All right. So yeah, especially since we kind of just did a hero anchor build and then we had the, double bye week situation. I feel like I think we're leaning towards like a 3-6-8-3 build, just by where we took what positions. And I'm fine with that. I usually do a 3-5-7-3 and I like a 3-6-8-3 on DraftKings. So I have Gainwell, Mayer, Musgrave queued up. I'm fine with, honestly, for our last 2 receivers, like more flyer types. So at 172, I really think as much as I love Gainwell,
is Curtis Samuel still there?
Yes.
So you could set up getting Howe if Howe's still there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Wait, did Howe go? Howe must have gone.
Might have gone.
Okay. We're up in 1, then we can look at the board real quick. Okay, so would you rather go Gainwell, just be done at running back, or would you rather, I'm a little nervous about the tight end situation. Though as much as I love Laporta, he's been my hero so far and hopefully he is through the season. So would you rather go Gainwell or would you rather grab a Michael Mayer?
I'd probably like to get Mayer.
Okay, different bye week than Laporta, so you want to go ahead and take Mayer. Okay, we are up in so let's take a look at the board. Geez, where did Sam Howell go? Because that was a good idea to queue that up. Yeah, he went right before we started, right before our last pick. He went in the 14th round here. Like you said, quarterbacks go earlier here. So that's just the way it goes.
So if we won a 3rd, we basically have to take it next.
Right. Okay. So 16.9, 17.4. I have done way more underdog drafts than DraftKings drafts, so I definitely am still getting used to the ADPs. The fact that tight ends and quarterbacks do go earlier because more people are thinking like I'm thinking, 20 picks, let me grab 3 of each, especially if we did what we did, which we waited on tight end. So we still have the guys queued up that we had queued up. Let's see here. I'm just taking a quick peek. We could do like honestly like a Ritter, and then if he falls, and just whether we want to correlate him or not, and like do like a Mac Hollins or something like that. I'm just going through each one right now. Running backs, I had Gainwell queued up. Anybody else you want to queue up? We're up in 8 picks. I'm just trying to get some queued so we can work from the queue.
Right now, no. If Gainwell's there, that's great. If not, I mean, we can definitely take a
flyer
later.
Guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the 19th.
Curtis Samuel. I'm not sure if some of my favorite late round guys do Slayton and then go earlier in this format.
Slightly.
Oh no, there's no Slaytons there. Okay, so there's a lot of my favorite late round heroes that are absolutely still available. So we can get to more of those later, but we are up in 7 picks. As you mentioned, if we want a quarterback, we kind of got to get it now. So at 189, if Ritter's there, do you lean Ritter over Garoppolo? We do have Michael Mayer, and I am bullish. I will say for Garoppolo, I know people are down on him. They have actually a really good playoff schedule too, and I just think like the AFC East, the AFC West is going to be in a lot of shootouts. So, I think you could. I actually don't dislike him as much as other people do. I'll say it that way. So. Up in 1 pick, both Ritter and Garoppolo there, so we will get one of them. Gainwell was just taken. Who do you lean?
I'd probably just lean Garoppolo.
But that's what I was leaning to. I like both. I like both Ritter and did we take no, we didn't end up taking Algier. Because I do love correlating running back sometimes too. But yes, let's go ahead and get Jimmy. We got the tight end. And we are up again at pick 196 in 6 picks. So let me remove Ritter because we now have 3 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 6 receivers, 2 tight ends. So we're good. We're in a good situation, not like in full desperation situation. Still have Luke Musgrave queued. I queued some of my favorite late round receivers that I like taking shots on in Shakir, Slayton, Tim Patrick. Obviously we need to, we may want to do one more running back as well. We're getting into that kind of free agent range and, just full, obviously handcuff situation, but who do you want to queue up? Just hit through quickly who you want to queue up, and then we can make our decision.
I'd probably queue up Pierre Strong. I don't know if I'm guessing what's his name from the Vikings was taken. Ty Chandler.
Yeah, Dwayne McBride is there. I'm guessing Ty Chandler was taken. Let's see there. Sean Johnson. I'm looking through just really quick. Yeah, Ty Chandler just went basically. Okay, back over to this, and we're up in 2. I mean, I don't feel like we have to reach for a receiver here, quite honestly. At pick 196, I wouldn't be opposed to doing the rookie special and getting Luke Musgrave at 2 if he's there. What are your thoughts on that? Because we might be able to get some of these flyer receivers later as well too.
I agree.
Okay. So Luke Musgrave, I had queued, and they have a different bye week than both Michael Mayer and Laporta. Okay, let's do that, and then we can talk about it, and then we can talk about the plan. He is there. I'm drafting Luke Musgrave. Call it the rookie tight end special because we got Sam Laporta, Lions, Michael Mayer, Raiders, Luke Musgrave, Packers. I know some people may be down on that strategy, but all are in a really, first of all, this was an excellent, you covered draft prospects. This is an excellent tight end prospect class, and they're all in great position, situations to kind of have a strong year, right, Steve?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the whole rookie tight ends don't produce is simply they don't typically have the opportunity. They rarely are obviously first round picks or even second round picks. So, they're not prioritized. And even when they are, like for instance, when Dallas Goedert got to the Eagles, he was good. He had 450 yards. playing as a number 2 tight end because they had this guy called Zach Ertz there. And we saw the same thing with guys like Jordan Reed when he came to Washington, Gronkowski, him and Aaron Hernandez were splitting the role. Jimmy Graham was not a full-time starter as a rookie, but when they were on the field, they were making plays. And, 2 years ago, we saw 2 rookies get it from the jump in the starting role from the jump in Kyle Pitts and Pat Freiermuth, and they paid off big time.
Right.
And it's also being attached to pretty decent quarterbacks. Some of the other guys, just are attached to just terrible, terrible quarterbacks. And, and the rookies we saw last year, when they did get on the field, guys like Greg Dulcich, he produced. He was just unfortunately injured, and that was in a terrible Broncos offense. Chega Okonkwo, again, in a terrible Titans offense. I mean, they had, 5-6 games of combined Malik Willis and Josh Dobbs, and he still produced for when he was on the field. So, a lot of it is just opportunity. These 3 guys all seem like they're clear-cut starters, and could be like even as high as the second options on their team. I mean, after Devontae Adams, who's the next best pass catcher on the Raiders? It could end up Michael Mayer. And same with Luke Musgrave. We have no idea how the Packers are going to shake out. And same with Sam Laporta, especially those first 6 weeks without Jameson Williams. He could be right behind Amon-Ra.
Right. All right. Well, we are up in 1 pick. And, I'd say probably Pierre Strong or Dwayne McBride would be the pick here, unless you do. I know we both love Slayton.
I'd go Pierre Strong and just finish that off. There's just enough receivers there that we can, and we're so strong.
Okay. Yeah. And we kind of needed, another running back, since we kind of just did the anchor running back build. And so we have 3-6. We're going to end up doing 8-3. We have 6 receivers now, and we'll go with 2 flyers. If Slayton's there, we'll take him. I know that you and I both love Josh Reynolds. You talked about Jameson Williams being out the first 6 weeks. We love the Lions offense. Yes, we did grab Sam Laporta, but, in that Dallas run back, but I think Reynolds, could be a guy that might not be drafted 100% too, and has a ton of potential. Not that I'd look for, I wrote an article about this. Actually, I do work on Run Pure Sports too and I'm going to be doing an article on fanspeak.com this week I looked through my bad lineups, and boy, I just took too many shots on too many handcuffs, too many 4th, 5th receiving options. But this is a guy who should be, really the second receiving option, essentially, while Jameson Williams is out. And then obviously I believe still will be a third receiving option when Jameson Williams returns. So
yeah, no, it's basically between him, Marvin Jones, and Khalif Raymond. And Raymond, played well last year, but it was Reynolds who actually was ahead of him in wide receiver snaps. Reynolds goes back to Jared Goff from 2017, their time with the Rams. So just a lot of familiarity there, and he can be a deep threat and offer some spike weeks.
So do we grab him here because of correlation, or because he's late?
I'd grab Reynolds.
Okay, I like that. I had Corey Davis queued up, and these are honestly, that's why we felt really strong about, again, DraftKings is wide receiver heavy and leans into that wide receiver scoring. That's where we did the anchor build, and we got Kupp, Ridley, Mike Williams, Mike Evans, Sutton, Gallup, 6 that we felt really, really comfortable with. And now we're just taking flyers that, and in this case, really still correlates. And yeah, you and I both really like Reynolds. I know we both really like Corey Davis in the Jets offense as a late round receiver. Any other late round receivers that you like that is still available? Obviously, we are still 12 picks away.
Yeah, I mean, a guy like, you mentioned him before with Ritter, a guy like Mac Hollins, he's almost guaranteed to be the number 2 receiver on the Falcons. And sure, in terms of usage, that's going to be behind Kyle Pitts. It's probably going to be behind the running back usage. Cordell Patterson might, have this kind of weird hybrid role, but he's going to be out there. We saw him have, some okay games with the Raiders this past year. So, I think he can fill in if need be, and he'd be a different buy. I think right now we just don't want a week 9 buy, just because we have, I think, 3 week 9 receivers.
Do we? Okay. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
But that's fine. I mean, it's...
Well, we're getting 8, so
yeah,
that's
exactly.
That's the good news is if you had only 6 and you had 3 week 9 receivers buys, that would be an issue, but we're getting 8. So, and one of them is, correct me if I'm wrong, yeah, Reynolds is, one of our late round flyers is one of them. So right now we have Corey Davis, Matt Collins. Honestly, it is pretty ugly, which it always is in the 20th round of any draft. So is there anybody else you wanted to queue up? We're up in 7 picks.
I'm trying to look.
I know people were like steaming up like Greg Dortch early in the drafts, season. Is he still like what should he be like in 2 wide receiver sets for Arizona? I assume.
I doubt that.
No? Okay. I know he
yeah.
got some steam early. So who would be the 2 wide receiver sets with Marquise Brown and who?
Oh, that's a fair question.
Okay. Who knows? But I mean, it's
the issue is guys like Rondell Moore and Greg Dortch are just so small. Like,
yeah.
It could be Michael Wilson.
I've heard. Okay. Yes. I have heard a lot of talk on him as well. Well, if Corey Davis is there, I lean that. What's your thoughts on that?
No, I agree.
We both love the Jets offense with Rodgers and deep threat. Perfect for your last round pick where you're just hoping to get some, a couple spike weeks and you're pumped.
Yeah, exactly. No, I 100% agree with that.
And, we'll talk about it after the draft. But I really have to say I like how the draft is shaping up because I feel like our positional distribution is really solid, but I also love the teams we stacked. Yes, they happen to play week 17, but these are 4 of my favorite teams that I'm targeting that we stacked up and 2 of my favorite week 17 games. So again, we'll get to it after I make this last pick. Corey Davis is there. I'm grabbing him and that completes our draft. And I forget, Steve, do I have to refresh or does it automatically go to I can just go to the board, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't we take a look as the draft plays out? I will read in order what we took. Obviously had the 4th spot and Cup fell to us. We were thrilled about that. We got Cup, Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley, Mike Williams. We'd like to stay. Mike Williams, Justin Herbert, Damian Pierce, Mike Evans, Cortland Sutton, Dak Prescott, AJ Dillon, Michael Gallup, Sam Laporta, Donta Foreman, Kendre Miller, Michael Mayer, Jimmy Garoppolo, Luke Musgrave, Pierre Strong, Josh Reynolds, Corey Davis. So again, that was a 3-5-6-8-3, which on DraftKings is one of my favorite builds. Sometimes I'll see these drafts where people are drafting 11 receivers, and I really do think you get into kind of the point of diminishing returns where how often are those 10th and 11th receivers going to be used? I much rather build out a 3rd quarterback stack like we did. I'd much rather have a little more depth at running back if we only did an anchor running back, which I'm going to do more on DraftKings and lean into receivers. Do you kind of agree with that, or how do you like your distributions?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think if you get beyond 9, even on DraftKings, it's thin. I mean, it's really thin because you're just drafting the same types of guys and you're not raising your floor enough. I mean, as it stands now, I wouldn't expect guys like Corey Davis and Josh Reynolds to crack our lineup many times outside of bye-week fill-ins, but that's fine. We don't need them to. I think those first 5, 6 are so strong that we're good with those 6 guys kind of just rotating through the lineup and even even on times where they have bad weeks, I think they're out there, they're starters, they can still have enough good weeks, enough spike weeks. And that's the thing. I think we mix spike week guys, guy like Mike Evans, people are going to knock him for no longer having Brady, but I mean, this guy was putting up spike weeks with the likes of Mike Lennon, Jameson Winston. I have no fear that he can continue to do that.
Yeah.
I just really like the receiver group. I think there's so much upside. Cup legitimately could be the number 1 receiver. People forget that when he got injured last year through the first 9 games, because he got injured early on in week 10, that the first 9 weeks of the season, he was well above Jefferson and Hill in terms of points per game. He was almost on par with his points per game of his record setting the year before. So, I mean, he was almost in that ballpark.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have run away with wide receiver 1 if he kept up that pace.
Absolutely. I'm so happy that he fell to us. And I did, like I said, I really just like our build. We did like the anchor build with Pollard. I like the 3-5-3-6-8-3. But love that we went, wide receiver heavy with 5 on underdog. I went 5 at the minimum that I can really trust. And here, I think we got 6 that we can trust in: Cup, Ridley, Mike Williams, Mike Evans, Sutton, and Gallup. So I'm really happy about that. And then I love the correlation stacks. Again, the Chargers, the Broncos, the Cowboys, the Lions. These are 4 teams that I know you and I both love from just an offensive targeting these offenses. We love them from their playoff schedules, a good amount of indoor games, potential shootouts. And then, oh, by the way, they play each other week 17. That's great. But we got a lot of correlation with Herbert, Mike Williams, and Sutton, Dak, Pollard, Gallup, Laporta, and Josh Reynolds. And then, of course, we still stacked up Jimmy Garoppolo with Luke Musgrave. So, yeah, I have to say I'm happy with, the line of construction, the correlation, and the kind of player takes. A lot of our guys fell to us, guys, because I did a draft earlier today where it's just, sometimes you just do those drafts where your guys don't fall to you. And the board just doesn't fall right, or you're constantly getting sniped. It happens. And that's why we do a lot of these drafts. But yeah, for all those reasons, I love this draft. If this wins $1 million, you have a 50% stake. How's that sound?
Sounds good. And just the other thing that I'll say is I think we also are guys who aren't in those correlations. We also got guys who, I think have some easier schedules. The Packers definitely project as an easy schedule. We got a couple pieces there. I really like getting some Tampa. I just think they're going to have to throw a lot more than people are expecting. It won't be as much as last year, but it's going to still be a lot. They're going to be behind. And same with the Rams. I mean, that's why I think Cooper Kupp could actually see the most targets he's ever seen, which is
that defense is not looking good this year. So they could be in some massive shootouts.
And the other one I wanted to mention, Dameon Pierce, I think, gets the situation. 49ers offensive system coming in, Bobby Sloak Jr., obviously been under Kyle Shanahan. They've been together forever. Their fathers coached together back in Denver. So, if anyone's going to get that running game going, it seems like somebody from the Kyle Shanahan tree. Dameon Pierce was good last year when the Texans were awful. If they're, just average-ish or even below average, he could really, really go off this year.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy all the way around. Well, Steve, this was fun. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Be sure to like this episode, subscribe to the Fanspeak Network. We're doing live drafts every single week up till the end of basketball season and start of NFL season, which is now, I believe, 59 days away. So exciting. And check out all of our content over at fanspeak.com. Steve just put out a great 2-part article on undervalued receivers. We got a couple of them, I believe, here today. But we're always targeting these receivers that are undervalued, even in a year where it's a wide receiver avalanche, which I find so interesting. There are still guys like Tyler Lockett, and those guys early, or these guys later, like Darius Slayton, that are just falling. And in our opinion, we don't think they should be falling. So there are a lot of undervalued receivers, even in a wide receiver avalanche heavy year. So check out Steve's articles that just went up on fanspeak.com, 2-part series on undervalued receivers. We'll have several articles each week through the best ball season, covering all sorts of angles of best ball strategy. So I think that about does it. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, hit that like button on the way out, and we will see you next time.